Hello, hello, and welcome, witches, to Madam Z. Hello, Bloody Mary.
Greetings.
And who do I have in the house today?
Bloody Mary's in the house, and
Yeah,
lots of
Bloody
other
Mary's
spirits
in
too.
the house.
Many invisibles
Yes.
as well.
So, Madam Z here, and I am your magical life coach, and I empower witches coming out of the broom closet and help them empower themselves and design their destiny through magic. Now, we have a huge virtual event coming up November 6th through the 8th, and it is my witches gathering virtual event. I hate to say an event because it's not really an event, it's more of a festival party thing. So, one of our
All the same, yeah.
yeah, it is, right? So, one of our great presenters is going to be Bloody Mary, and I am so excited to have you here in the virtual event that's coming up. And
I'm glad to be a part of it.
It's
sad that you're not making it to New Orleans this year, but sure that you will make it again.
That's what I'm hoping. So the backstory of it was about the event. Let me turn my volume up a little bit. Was that we were my 13 witches, supposed to be very exclusive. We're going down to New Orleans. We were going to go hang out with Bloody Mary. She was going to do the VIP sessions with us. And then this whole crazy thing happened. So now we're bringing it online. But then I was like, can you do it online? And she was like, heck yeah, I'll do it online. So
we have to evolve with this, not let it beat us,
Correct. And change with the times and what's going on. That's what magic is about, being fluid and adapting to your environment, right? What's going on. So,
or making it adapt to you. Depends on which way you look at it, but yeah.
Right. So, Bloody Mary, she is going to be doing our VIP seance. So, for all the ticket holders that are holding the Covenant VIP Supreme, they call it Supreme level ticket holder, will have a private seance with the world famous Bloody Mary in New Orleans. She was coming up in from her. Are you going to be doing it in the shop, you think, or in your Voodoo seance room?
I'm not sure.
Not sure.
I'm not sure. I do seances. I've done seances here in my personal temple longer than I've even done them downtown. So it just depends on how noisy it is. If it really gets noisy down there, I'll stay here for the virtual one. And if it doesn't, I'll go down to the seance parlor in my haunted museum and do our seance from there. It's not, I mean, it isn't, I guess it isn't officially private one-on-one. It's a seance for all your VIPs together. Correct. And me and my co-medium, Juliet, will be there. And if it gets really big, I might have to get a third person. I do usually like the smaller size, and 13 is the amount that we let come in the flesh when it's different people, and a few more if it's a group. So yeah, I'll do a voodoo seance with my voodoo paranormal. And Marie Laveau, she did voodoo seances. It was right around the time, mid-19th century, that the word seance became the thing, So we'll do that, as well as like a voodoo intro and ghost tour too, somehow.
Yeah. Now the tour is going to be open to everyone, and that's going to be on the last day of the event.
Sunday, yes.
Sunday, but the private seance is just for the VIP ticket holders.
Gotcha.
So it's going to be super excited, and she's going to be beaming in. Do we even say beaming in anymore? I don't even know what the
if you're a Trekkie, I guess. I don't know.
Coming in from New Orleans, so super excited about that. So tell us and the viewers that are watching just a little bit about you and what you do.
Okay. Hi, I am Bloody Mary. I'm Voodoo Queen in New Orleans voodoo tradition, and kind of the keeper of that tradition. I always say there's a lot of voodoo in New Orleans, but it's not all New Orleans voodoo, because New Orleans is known as such a mystical and magical and haunted place. People come here either for their fame and fortune, or to connect, or both, to those types of things. And that's always been the case. A lot of transients that come and go, and the river would flow it all in and out. So New Orleans voodoo was a specific tradition that was developed here in New Orleans, mixing in with our Native American Indian shamanism from the area, and the African shamanism known to you as voodoo, as well as Roman Catholicism and a little folk magic from our European friends, aka witches. So we would all have that in a bubbling gumbo pot. And it created our own New Orleans voodoo, which is similar, but not Haitian voodoo, but similar. However, I am also Haitian voodoo mambo asagwe in Haitian voodoo, which is the highest level rank you can get in that sister religion. I'm training in Palo. I am also a twinned in the old school Celtic religion. And I am, let's say, Qigong in the Tibetan systems, where I do a lot of, I'm night priestess in that, and born and raised Catholic. And what else? Very importantly, I'm a Mama Isi. I am the voice of the river. I'm a river priestess. And the river is the true magic here. The true mother of New Orleans is who I serve and work with. And at the root of that is swamp magic, because that's what we are. So we speak and sing to the river, and I speak as the river, and the spirit of place. So I am a Mama Isi of the river, and I speak her wishes, and I teach swamp magic. And that's the only place that I use the word witch. So I am not a witch, but I am a swamp witch. I don't know how that works, but that's what it is. Not a witch, but I'm a swamp witch.
And you bring up a good point too, is that a lot of people are asking me, I'm really interested in the event, but I don't consider myself a witch. Can I still hang out? And I'm like, yes.
Of course. Well, what do they consider themselves? I mean, labels are a funny thing. There's so many labels that you can have. Are you trying, I'm more of a shaman, and voodoo and swamp witchery is more shamanic in nature, really, than your traditional Wiccan witchcraft European base is. So, they have elements that are shared between all of them, between voodoo or hoodoo. Now, hoodoo, I'm also a hoodoo teacher and practitioner, and hoodoo's the folk magic, the components that everybody wants, the potions, the powders, the dolls, the spells, all that jazz. And I've been teaching how to make dolls for, 27 years, been making them a little bit longer. And I teach the realities of voodoo dolls.
Yeah, puppet magic. I love that. And
a little different than the puppet magic, but it's very similar.
Yeah.
Very similar.
I use, I call it puppet magic, but you can use voodoo dolls or whatever you want to call it. But I use mine a lot for love and for prosperity. And, people have this
love and money. Love is money is the number one reason people use dolls. Love it. And also revenge,
Yeah, revenge.
I talk them out of it, but that's what they want, because that's what they see on TV.
Correct.
And
it's, we talk about the magic isn't what you see on TV. It's very, personal and very powerful and very enlightening and very healing. A lot of our stuff that we do is basically a lot of like healing for people and, for ourselves and for, Mother Earth or for the rivers or, a lot of healing that we do. So how did you get started?
I always had some part of me involved in it. I'm also a ghost whisperer and a psychopomp. I work between the worlds. And ever since I was a small child, I saw spirits here and played in the graveyards. And multidimensional beings is my correct word these days, but ghosts have always been around me. And every time I wanted to know more about spirits or ghosts, and the more research I did, the more Marie Laveau would pop up, the more voodoo would pop up. And I would get some of the answers that made sense to me in my voodoo studies. It wasn't like today. You didn't go to the internet and find a presto answer of 2 sentences that sufficed you. You got to truly do your digging. And the world, the universe, was kind to me and put people in my path
Yeah.
that provided direct answers in many cases, or direct examples of what I needed to learn to do or learn not to do. Because
Mm-hmm.
sometimes learning what not to do and who not to do it with is more important, you
Yeah.
know?
Yep.
So, I've always been involved with the spirit world since a small child here, nature spirits as well as ghosts.
Mm-hmm.
And, those things evolved into a different aspect, let's say when I was an adolescent, and
Mm-hmm.
then again and as an adult. So, in all different parts of my life, there have been some part of spirit work
Yeah.
within it. Being from here, though, I was really lucky. There was always the stories, there was always the people, there was always a form of witchcraft or a form of voodoo that you would see and like, what's that? What's that? And,
Mm-hmm.
if I got a dumb answer, which I got a lot of dumb answers from parents or grandparents, I'd have to go beyond that to say, well, why do they do this and why do they do that? And, till I found out. And sometimes I had to get the answer from spirit and let it show me in a dream or whatnot. But you
Right.
see, my family's been here for 300 years.
Wow.
And
Yeah.
even though I joke constantly about being related to half the ghosts, or I did for years, as time
Yeah.
went on, I found out I really was related to a lot of them because spirits recognize you for your bloodline. And I think that's why when I go to certain places that it's easier or it's connected
Mm-hmm.
to me. And then the graveyards have been in there since a little bitty baby in my grandma's arms.
Yeah.
So I'm still the graveyard queen, bringing people to the graveyards today.
I love it. I have an academy online, an online academy of witches, and we were just, yesterday we have our coaching class every Tuesday night. And so yesterday we did a whole class on graveyard workings. And so they had to go pick the graveyard out where you're going to go do the workings. And, you had to do the gatekeeper and all the, the crossroads and the offerings. And so
I
if
do that every day.
yeah, I was
Every
going to say,
single day,
if I could do that every day,
for
I would do
27 years. Yeah.
it every day. I love graveyard workings. And it was funny
And no
because,
matter where I am, graveyards or out on the streets, I still give the offerings because the spirits are not stuck in the graveyard. So you don't
right,
work with them only there, but you can, you
yeah,
know.
yeah. But I find graveyards just to be very peaceful and quiet. And, if you're still, you can hear.
Again, depends on where you're from. Not so here, but go on.
Yeah.
They can be very tourist oriented here.
And I guess it depends on the graveyard
I'm,
that you go to,
right.
too.
Some
But
are very touristy or were.
that's true. Now, where we're at, we're in Austin.
Yeah,
So,
totally different animal. Yeah.
correct.
Not the same energy and
Yeah.
focus around, oh, let's go to the graveyards in Austin. It's
No.
even though I'm one that says that wherever you visit, you should go to the oldest graveyards and say hello to the spirits that built the town. It's
Yes.
just kind of courtesy. And
Yes.
one thing I found over the years, though, it's gotten a little better lately. That a lot of alleged witches or people like that are really afraid of the spirits of the graveyards. And there's some pretty weird things that they tell you to do or not to do, and to be
Mhm.
afraid of spirits following you or this and that. I mean, if you're afraid of that, you shouldn't be in this business.
Right.
You should be able to talk to the spirits and get to know them and set your boundaries and all that.
Mhm.
But you have to be respectful to them and feed them and say
Right.
hello to them and introduce yourselves. And you have to be social. If
Yeah.
you're visiting them in their place, in their domain, you better be social and
Correct.
respectful.
Exactly. I mean, you remember back in the day when you used to actually like eat lunch at your ancestors' graves?
We
Like,
do that still a little bit here. That's not everywhere. We had
mhm.
November 1st.
Yeah.
Our
Also,
Day of the Dead here was Toussaint. It
hmm.
was meant All Saints.
Yep.
And in fact, I gave a bunch of my collector ghost cards, postcards to you to distribute to
Hmm.
people. I guess your VIPs. And one of
Yeah.
them is the classic photo of people fixing up the graveyard on All Saints Day on Toussaint.
Oh,
Because you
yeah.
decorate your tomb, you picnic out
Mhm.
there, paint the tomb, you deck, all that for the dead, and spend time and sit there and eat with them. Yes, eat with them.
Yep.
This country doesn't do that much. We did because we were that European displaced colony.
Correct.
So I'm surprised Texas did, except maybe if it's because it's close to Mexico, you think?
Yeah, the Mexican culture is really big on decorating their grave around that same time, and they have beautiful decorations with marigolds, and they have a whole big parade, and they really go out. I have never experienced. 'Cause I'm not from Texas, so I moved here about 4 years ago. So you hear about it, you see about it, you see it, but I've never experienced anything like that. It's phenomenal, and they really
being from a European Catholic area here, we had our own version. So remnants of that still existed when I was a young girl, that you might have fed the dead or decorated the tomb, dying out as modern times came upon us. But I have found that certain places like LA and a few other places are trying to start a tradition on the Day of the Dead, where we did have it already historically. So I'm not sure if it's some of the Mexicans that live in Austin that are doing it there, or people trying to honor that. I don't know. Is it Mexicans that are doing it in Texas?
It's their culture. Yeah, very much. Yeah.
So yes, I mean, I know it was done in Mexico. They have those beautiful little Day of the Dead dolls of every different, type of job. They have the skeletons dressed up, which is very much like in voodoo. We have, we have Le Grand Zombie in New Orleans voodoo, which is the great ancestral god shown through the snake. And that's kind of like a Congo derivative word, zombie. And then we have the Gede family, which everyone out there is pretty familiar with in voodoo because of Baron Samedi and Mama Bridget and those that you may have met or think you met, in American Horror Story. Because he's the one with the top hat and tails coat and all that. He likes the old tattered ones like I have, and not the fancy new ones. He likes the ones that got a little graveyard dirt on them, and wears the tails coat and the funeral clothes and things like that. So everybody knows that facade, even though that's just one family in the voodoo pantheon. It is the one that is the most used and known since Live and Let Die, in New Orleans about that. But, the top hat, tails coat, they're the sexy Grim Reaper couple, the Baron and Baroness, Mama Bridget, mother and father of the bones. However, there's all sorts of families, but this time of year, it's them that we, of course, contact with, because you got to take care of your ancestors now. And the ghosts come out, and the veil is thin, and all that jazz.
I know, isn't it great? I mean, I feel the energy shifting big time. It's getting cooler here in Austin.
Yes, it is here too, finally.
Yeah, so I'm like,
beautiful.
Yes, I love it. So even though we can't do a lot of socializing, you can socialize in the graveyard all you want to.
I always say that we're all in this together, the living and the dead, and you don't have to social distance from the dead. You're not going to catch anything. Well, probably not going to catch anything. They don't have to wear masks, but they can if they want to. Yeah, so we're still going to have certain parties here and certain things that are allowed. But I've gone to the cemeteries the entire time. Even, when you're... I couldn't stay locked down. I went and videoed in the cemeteries. I went and drove. I mean, I live a few blocks away from the cemetery district with 15 graveyards all clustered around each other. So I'm, I could take a shortcut from one neighborhood, not from one street to the other through the graveyard. And I do, to get out of traffic and to say hi at the same time.
Yeah.
So yeah, there's a lot of that going on to speak and to say hello to the dead. Something I was going to tell you. Now I forgot something about right before you said something about the graveyard.
Maybe
what else we were talking about?
Maybe it'll come back.
Yes, we definitely can hang out in the graveyards. I'm still doing cemetery tours here, and you can see little mini cemetery tours on my YouTube channel. And I'm going to have a little bit of a cemetery tour with you and a little bit of a ghost tour.
Yeah,
as much as we can.
Yeah. So we're excited for that because a lot of people aren't able to travel to New Orleans and see the sights of New Orleans. If you are a practicing witch or occultist or voodoo or, you know, whatever you call yourself, it is very important that you go to two places in your life. Well, in United States, you need to go to Salem and you need to go to New Orleans. I haven't made it to Salem yet. I swear I'm going to make it to Salem, but I haven't made it there. But you need to go to New Orleans. I've been there several times. It keeps calling me back. There is no other magic than New Orleans. I swear it has it's a vortex. Once you're in there,
it's a living vibe. It's the spirit of place. It's the river and all of her pulsing that you'll feel. It's a totally different animal than most of the rest of this country. You know, I have also, you know, felt a lot of intensity in other cities. There's a few in Florida. There's certain sacred sites, but New Orleans has always been known as like the most haunted area. So people that aren't used to feeling spirits, a lot of times they actually do feel them here.
Yeah.
I think that's the difference in the other spots in New Orleans. So everything was, you know, kind of quiet for the last few months because we were kind of quiet, you know, so they were kind of quiet.
Yeah.
Oh, I know what I was going to tell you. I'm excited about this Halloween. One, because, you know, things are opening back up. People are start coming. The energy's coming back. And I'm very happy about that. Yeah. But this, I think, 15, 16, probably 17 years ago, and I haven't done any math about this, was the last time there was a blue moon. Full moon on Halloween.
Yeah.
So a blue moon is when there's two full moons in the same month. And being that the last one was on Halloween that night, and compared to me being midnight in the cemetery for the longest of anyone in this town, doing that for 27 years or 26 years, 27 years, was the most haunted night. Was the most visual and audible and everything all in one was that night. That was the full moon and the blue moon on a Halloween. I have done some of the same things on many other Halloweens at the same time in the same way that weren't as active as that night. Maybe that was not the reason, but I'm going to make sure this year that I find out and contact, if we're not as busy as we have been for every other single Halloween. I will be doing private connections, or maybe I'll do a live Zoom connection if we can, and contact the spirits, because it was always my favorite time of the year, but I've been so busy during it lately. I didn't get to enjoy it.
This was the 1 year, because, you know, this is our season. This is, you know, we're super busy. This is the 1 year I was like, you know what? I'm not going to do anything in my business. I'm actually going to enjoy it. I'm going to go to, you know, Salem, bring all my witches in Salem. New Orleans. We're going to
New Orleans, yeah.
We're going to go talk to the dead. We're going to have private seances. I'm just going to enjoy Samhain.
Right.
And now it's like, I'm working Samhain.
Guess what? Yeah. Well, no, you're not. I mean, you are, but you're not. Because your festival is in November, which I think is good, because a lot of people are trying to do things virtually or otherwise to make up for the lack of parties and events that they can have. So you're not going to be doing this on Halloween. You're doing it November, 6th, 7th, and 8th, right?
To the 8th, yeah.
Right. I think that's good, because, you know, everybody else has got all their other commitments, and then they'll be able to come to you. So I think that's a good idea. If you were coming like you planned to me to have I do all kind of private parties, by the way. My night at the Haunted Museum, we can lock it out and it's just us, and have ghost hunts in one area and seance in another, and food outside, because I've got a gorgeous and huge open air courtyard, which allows me to social distance better, to be able to have more people by law, and to be safer in general. It's a gorgeous courtyard and haunted, you know.
Yeah.
So yeah, I do that.
And then when we do the haunted tour or the haunted place, we can't give all the details out yet to y'all.
Okay, it's a surprise.
But maybe, you know, you'll be able to go live from the courthouse, or maybe you'll be able to talk about the courthouse or your museum.
The courthouse?
Not courthouse, the courtyard. Sorry.
Like, I don't want to go to court.
Courtyard.
Go to the universe. No, I'm sure there's some ghosts in the damn courthouse. Okay.
Yeah.
I just
I
don't
bet.
usually plan that. I'm sure I could sit on the beautiful steps and sit out there and see what happens if they would speak. It used to have the coroner's office on the side, the morgue was attached right to the courthouse. So they moved it not too long. Well, they moved it a few years ago.
Mm-hmm.
And the lady said where they moved it was also super haunted. And then they moved it again a third time. So now there's just like this abandoned one.
Oh, wow.
But anyway, we'll go to wherever we can get to and see where the hauntings are. And I might have a little bonus for everybody to get into the museum too.
You got to come.
Plus, they can do ghost hunts with me, virtual ghost hunts before that too, because I have the next 3 Mondays to do ITC communication through some of the paranormal equipment, as well as, they can do the old school with you and we do the seance and the new school. And what I do is voodoo paranormal and open the gates and give us a blessing and try to connect with the spirits virtually.
I love it. What was I going to ask? I totally forgot what I was going to ask. Oh, I know. Do you teach or do you have students of, your practice? Do you actually like mentor students?
Yes and no. I mean, I've been practicing and teaching for, at least 26 years. And I have been taking classes from all different types of teachers myself, because you never stop learning, even when you're the teacher. You have to continue your education, right? So only recently, and much to my chagrin at first, did I start offering things online, because I was always like, no, you've got to come here. I need to meet you. I need to know where you're from. I'm old school with that, okay? And I still believe that I'd rather know you, see your aura, and connect with you in the flesh. But I have been giving Zoom classes, and I'll probably start a whole new series of them come November, the middle of November. I have classes online already that you can purchase the old classes that were Zoom live. And then they're Mondays at 5 o'clock. So the next 3 Mondays are going to be devoted to the spirit world because it's Halloween. So there'll be my virtual paranormal and ghost hunting for the next 3 Mondays. But I had everything from, love class, a money class, an anti-storm class, a Loa class. I had 15 of them so far that I've done on Zoom. But I have retreats that I do one-on-one, and that's what I like, because I need to see where your level is and where you need to go from there, and what spirit is really knocking at your door trying to get in and talk to you. So I have offered spirit retreats for a long time where I give you a one-on-one certification in hoodoo and in a blessing into my voodoo house, which is mainly a family tradition in New Orleans voodoo. It's also a combination of, let's say, a few hand-selected elders from other traditions that are also in there as well. But mainly a family tradition, like literally, my son, my daughter-in-law, my husband, as well as my cousin and the people that work with me. And I'm in a sub-house of Haitian voodoo here as well with Sally Ann Glassman. So I have a variety of different things. My voodoo house, the one that the Haitian voodoo house, the Mama Isi, and that's the one that I kind of like embrace people with the New Orleans voodoo and the river.
Awesome.
So yes, I teach one-on-one, and every Friday to the public, I have like a Voodoo Crossroads tour that I take you to a certain graveyard, introduce you how to do that, and a bayou and a special tree and certain sacred sites that we go out in the field. The thing why I didn't like a lot of these kind of classes, I thought it was a little too sterile. I'd go get my hands dirty.
Yeah,
I mean, a couple of weeks ago, I was out there fishing a dead gator out of the way at the wishing spot because he died right where I was doing the ritual of the anti-storm, and I was like, hey, he gave himself to me. I got to have a piece of that gator.
Yeah.
They had to have got a little toe bone or something.
Exactly.
Like it's dirty, and you got wet and mushy on your feet and full of mud, and then I go pick the moss and the tree. It's real. So I can't, not that it's not real for me to teach you this way, but, I can't necessarily get your hands dirty as well. And I'll put mud on your forehead and mud in your, we work with mud and we work with moss and sticks. And you step in water, and it's just not all sterile. But it's worked. Somehow the Zoom class has worked better than I thought. And seriously, there's no way to really learn New Orleans voodoo without not being here, at least at the beginning. Traditions that are elsewhere that claim that, it's living day to day with the spirits here. It's working in the graveyard. It's visiting Marie Laveau. It's fixing her tomb. It's bringing people there. It's talking about it's going to Congo Square. It's, planting seeds in the other graveyards. It's cleaning them up. It's doing all that stuff, singing to the trees and, splashing through the bayou. You've got to be in it, in my opinion, to really keep it active,
I think so.
If you just come for that day. Fridays are my day of taking people around, and then that's a small group, like under 10 people. And then anytime for the retreat or one-on-one that we do things together. But
sounds awesome. We have the same thought pattern about that. I teach classes too, and my business started on Zoom. Then it went to a combination of Zoom and in-person, and now it's back on Zoom. But it is important, and I tell my clients and my students that witching is dirty. It's not all pretty pictured and filtered. You're going to get dirty. You're going to get rained on. You're going to get snowed on. You're going to get ashes. You're going to burn burn marks in your cloths and your clothes. You're going to spill oil on you and salt. You're going to get dirty, but that's how you do witching. That's your best.
You got to have a little apron then, a special witchy apron.
One of the vendors is going to be making those.
Cute.
She's going to be making witchy vendors, witching. They're super cute, but they have all little pockets, so you can carry out your tools with you. So it's
carry a lot of stuff. Cool. Yeah. I'd like some of them.
Yeah.
In my shop. Now I have a shop, and the whole idea of my shop was the Voodoo Pharmacy. Spirit shop is different cultures, different ways of connecting and protecting from spirits. So I have, tons of voodoo dolls, because that's my big thing about making for years and years and years. Not just anyone that has craft can't call it a voodoo doll. There's certain things in there. So I have a lot of voodoo dolls. I have a lot of Ouija boards. I have a lot of decks of cards, crystals, bones, baubles, all that stuff. But I have my pharmacy in the back that I would prefer to make one-on-one your gree-gree or your gree-gree bag, which isn't the same, but for argument's sake, I'll call it a mojo for you guys. A gree-gree, you would have a gree-gree I can make, or the bath salts I make with the individual herbs. So I make it to order as part of a prescription from doing a healing/reading with you. Even though I have some of the less expensive pre-made ones that I make, I still think the one-on-one that I make just for you is the best.
It's the most powerful. I agree too. So you come from one of the most famous haunted cities in the world, but tell us what your favorite haunted place is there. People that they don't know about, because you have the tourist stuff, right? Everybody knows about the tourist stuff,
but some of it is the same, though. I mean,
you got inside information.
Sure, and some of it I keep silent. But even my tours have met the walking tours at Lafitte's Blacksmith Shop Bar, which is the oldest bar, and I still love that place, touristy as it is. It's just the energy and the spirits in there that I've talked to in such long times. It's so much that I've learned from them. It's been very sad that they said that they've been closed, but they should be able to open on Saturday.
Good.
At least for to-go stuff. So there's all of that. But there's certain areas and certain trees in the forests that I connect with a lot of both human and nature spirits with. And those would be some of my more favorite places, I suppose. So in the waters, in the forest, in the parks, and then in some of the graveyards, and that has changed over the years. Which one would be my favorite?
Yeah.
Like the energies change or the spirits change or I change. I don't know. A haunted house is not haunted every minute of the day. Not every place that you go to has the same spirits or the same amount of energy to share. They move around just like we do. And different times of year, different people might spark certain things up. So that answer would change according to the time and whenever you ask me. But I don't know what it is right now. And my house is in the Encyclopedia of America's Haunted Houses. Where we're sitting now has been on Ghost Adventures and BuzzFeed Unsolved and American Supernatural and all that. So my house is also haunted. And, you know, of course, the river, as I mentioned, and the French Quarter.
Yeah, exactly. So tell us a little bit, just a little bit about, because I don't want you to give everything away, right?
Okay.
We have secrets, but tell us a little bit about what's going to be happening when we do like the private seance kind of thing. What is that going to be about?
Oh, well, that's about the dead. That's about opening the gates and all of us trying to connect with a group mind and seeing what spirits of our friends or family may or may not come by, because they don't all come by.
Yeah.
Most of the time, some people come on their own, and we try to coax them with words and prayers. And, you know, in voodoo, I'm very big with the rattle and the sense of sound that I use to call the tones. So we try to get, and of course, the fire of the candle and the flames and the water, all the different elements that we'll use. And then we'll all connect as best as we can and ground, because I believe that everybody is intuitive, and many people are just afraid to use their gifts, or they don't trust themselves. So we'll encourage everyone to try to join in. Also, tell everyone to bring a pen and paper so that they have something to write down or draw, whatever, while we're doing it. They won't lose the train that they're getting. So, you know, and then we're going to have a co-mediumship. So we have two mediums at least, me and my partner, Juliet. It's funny. She's the more, I suppose, innocent, conservative one.
She is, isn't she?
Looks-wise. But she's the one that usually gets all the blood and gore, and I don't, which is funny. And I'm called Bloody Mary. So it's always like, no.
Yeah.
So it's like I'll see one side and she'll see another side. And a lot of times she's the one that'll see, you know, how the person died and the blood or their guts. So, you know, I don't see that. I'll see what they're trying to show me now, what they're trying to tell me, how they've evolved. So a lot of times people have a spirit control that kind of comes in. I guess I will see a different side of what she sees, and she might see a different side of what I see. And we try to get a whole picture with you to fill in the dots, because once you recognize a person, you got to, you know, pull them in a little bit to get a further message. So we're hoping that we'll get in touch with a few of your spirits, depending if you know how many VIPs you have. Not everybody will get a chance, but, you know, we'll also, I think all of it is a learning lesson.
Correct.
So they'll at least learn something or pitch in. You know?
And experience it. A lot of people have not experienced a seance because
and this is not modern gallery style like John Edwards. I don't want to stand up in a huge auditorium, though I guess with a lot of people on Zoom, it's similar, and just say, who's got a dead grandma? I mean, I don't want to do that. I was very afraid of doing it like this as opposed to in the flesh, but I've done a few since then, and it's okay.
Yeah.
I still think the flesh is better, but it's okay. I've always been able to do readings on the phone or, you know, online without a problem. But the seances, you know, hopefully everyone will be trying to help instead of trying to block, you know, and then we'll have things come through. And it's definitely a learning experience, as well as it's very personal for some people. I think you got in touch with a friend when we did a seance, and you know, it can be personal.
Yeah, it can be very personal. And, you know, whoever wants to come forward is going to come through, you know, so.
Now, like in voodoo, you ask people to come forward in dance transpossession, where they actually come into you and you are like a medium and you speak their words and their healings and their overview knowledge of past, present, or future, whatever they have to say. And so the voodoo seance in Marie Laveau's day was everyone sitting around a table, but a parterre on the ground with some medium sitting on the side, just kind of channeling information. And in her day, seance was the new up and coming thing. And in our day, it's more paranormal equipment. So that's why I say I do voodoo paranormal. And she said voodoo seance for, you know, the ancient rituals was the tried and true way before that. And each generation or every couple of generations, there's a new thing, a new way to try that. That's the most popular. So the EVP, to hear it on the recordings, you know, that's the more popular way in paranormal today, which we'll try to do on our ghost hunts.
To be so fun. So,
but you've got all kind of different presenters and all kind of different ways.
Yeah.
And I think everybody should learn and take away a little something and add a little something to each other, you know?
One second.
Sure.
I wanted to show everybody. Sorry, I had this up here and then I cleaned out my desk. So this is the loot box that the VIP people will get. I love it. This comes to your door. There's stuff in here already, not all of it, but you open it up and I can't show y'all stuff, but filled with stuff.
It's like kind of like
exactly.
If I guess it, can I have it?
Yeah. Guess it. There's all kinds of stuff in here. But when you buy the VIP ticket, you get this, and you also get the VIP seance with Bloody Mary and all other kind of goodies too. So get the VIP ticket. Just get it. You know, you're going to be privy to so much more information and so much more goodies and just replays and everything. Just don't even think about it. Just get it. Seriously, just get it. You're going to want it. You're going to
do it.
Exactly. You're going to kick yourself in the ass if you don't, for sure.
Yeah, that's what I've been trying to tell people about my thing. I said, if you buy them all three, one, they're cheaper to buy it as a VIP, and you get extra stuff that you won't get if you don't do it. I mean, it's really smarter, and it lets us in the world of last-minute decisions. Correct. It lets us plan better, because if she sees she gets more return on, like I see, oh, I'm going to get extra people here to help. I'm going to get another medium. I'm going to get another this, you know, but if you wait to the same day, we can't necessarily, you know, do that for everybody. Oh, she might need more stuff to put in her boxes and things. So, you know, I try to explain that to people. It's like, seriously, tell us in advance, because then we'll have certain things in place that'll give you bonuses, you know?
And don't wait don't wait till the last minute, because price is going to be going up.
Yeah.
You're not going to be able to get your loot box mailed to you before the event. It's going to come after the event. You're going to miss out on bonuses. You're going to miss out on all the cool stuff. You know, if you're late to the party, you're late to the party. And, you know, I hate to tell you that, but you need to jump on this. For real. I'm not kidding. All right. So where can they find you at? Because I know I'm going to be stalking your social media stuff and sending you all kinds of questions.
Well, at Bloody Mary NOLA. By the way, if y'all don't know NOLA, that means New Orleans, Louisiana, and for Orleans, you know, Louisiana, LA. So Bloody Mary NOLA is at Bloody Mary NOLA is one of my Facebooks, and it's also my Instagram. So you can do that. I'm Bloody Mary New Orleans on YouTube, and I'm Bloody Mary New Orleans.com on Eventbrite and my website. So either Bloody Mary NOLA or Bloody Mary New Orleans, or looking into that mirror and calling my name 3 times, and you will find me. Candle and all that jazz. So yes, I can astral travel and come to your party and scare you like thousands of little girls call and cry and ask me to do in the middle of the night, and they do. They call. Because they, no, you Bloody Mary, don't kill me. It's like tempting me. Yeah, I'm the queen of prank phone calls. So yes, so we've got all those reasons. And of course, in New Orleans, at the Haunted Museum and Voodoo Pharmacy Shop in the French Quarter at 828 North Rampart. I have a small little online presence with some things on the store on my website under the Haunted Museum section. And I'm making all these fantastic, cool new candles too, by the way, these spell candles.
Wait.
And you can, but I do a Mojo to go like phone thing shopping too sometimes.
Cool. All kinds of cool stuff. So join me and Bloody Mary and some other awesome speakers that's going to be here from New Orleans, from Hoodoo and Voodoo and Candle Magic and Palmistry and Paranormal and what else? There's everything going to be there. November 6th through the 8th, we're going to bring the magic to you. Get on this loot box. I don't want to hear any excuses. I don't want to hear any crying. Madam Z, can you send? No. I missed the deadline. Sorry. Hate it. Get on it. November 6th through the 8th, Bloody Mary is going to be doing our private seance just for the VIP people. And then she's going to be doing haunted tours of New Orleans of famous places. So,
and join us. A few famous ghosts.
Yeah. November 6th through the 8th. And I will put the description of where you can find Bloody Mary and all her social media, along with where you can buy tickets. And at the bottom of the screen, of the ticker down here, right there, you will find the link to grab your tickets and get them before the prices go up and the bonuses go away, because those VIP tickets are not available for everyone. They only have 50 available. So once they're gone, they are gone. So thank you so much for hanging out with me, Miss Bloody Mary.
Thank you. I'm glad we got to hook up, and I will see you soon in the future, and I hope to see some of you, especially you, in New Orleans again one day.
I'll be there one of these days. All right, we will see you November 6th through the 8th in the Witches Gathering virtual event. Blessed be everyone, and witch on.
Aye, Bobo. That's how we sign off in Voodoo.